Hello, Listening Books. I've got a big old Q&A here from some of your listeners. So question 1. I'm Jenny Eclair, by the way. It's very, very nice to be doing this. Thank you for asking me. I've got quite big bags under my eyes. Don't look at them. Question 1. Did you like to read or make up stories when you were little? Yes, I did. I liked making up stories and I liked illustrating them. That was my thing. I didn't have any other things. I couldn't run very fast. I couldn't jump very high. But I thought I was rather good at making up stories. And I do remember a story that I wrote when I was in primary school that ended up on the school wall. It was called How I Killed an Octopus. Or a giant squid, I can't remember which one it was, octopus, giant squid. But the method of killing them was punching it in the eye. Apparently it was quite graphic and it ended up on the wall. So that was my first triumph. Question 2. Do you have any quirky writing habits or a writing routine? No, it's just a slog. It's just a tedious, boring slog. This is, I'm in my study. I always write in my study, which you can see, where you can see the back of my study. I don't want you to see the front of my study because the desk itself is a bit of a mess. But I face a wall. There is a window. I'm allowed to look out of it occasionally. And once I'm writing, I'm fine. It's the bits in between when I'm not writing and I can't think what to write, which are a bit miserable. But thank you, Fern, for that one. Question 1 was from Rachel, by the way. This question 2 was Fern. Question 3. From Andrew B. As an author, what do you look forward to most when reading other books? That's a really interesting question because I want all the books to be different. So sometimes I'm in the mood for a great big storybook, something like Whalebone Theatre, Whalebone Theatre Company, by Joanna Quinn, which I've had on the go recently. I listen to everything rather than read because I suffer from something called dry eye disease, which by the end of the day with my eyes are quite tired and gritty. So listening to books is much easier than reading off the page these days. And I'm very happy with audio. I really am. I think you get a little bit extra, as you with listening books will know. If you get a good narrator, you're in clover, aren't you? So it depends. Sometimes I want something neurotic and very female. Sometimes I want a thumping Agatha Christie-like. Very, very varied. Mostly female authors, I have to admit. But the odd chap does creep in now and again. A lot of contemporary fiction and not very many of the classics, I have to say, in my library. Question 4 from Claire. As someone who has appeared on TV, stage and radio, as well as written books, do you have a favourite medium? I like them all. I want to do them all, Claire. I don't want anyone else to get any work. I want me to have all the work. I want all the telly, all the radio. I want to write all the books. I'm very greedy. It's a bit of a problem, actually. Especially when you're 62 and you're not as in demand as you might once have been. And sometimes you get a bit het up. But no, I'm very, very fortunate. I know that. I really, really like doing them all. And sometimes when you're on a very long tour and it's winter and you're in a traffic jam, you just think, oh God, why can't I have a nice afternoon quiz show, Question 5, we're halfway through. This is from Louise, who says, does being a great presenter, thank you Louise, and appearing on stage and in different TV shows make you a better writer? Do the experiences or tools you have help in crafting a story, do you think? I do think in some respects, yes. In other respects, no. I think one of the highlights of having done lots of other things is that I can put myself in a TV studio. I can write what it's like to be in a TV studio, what it's like to be backstage in a theatre, what it's like to, be in a recording studio. But I don't know anything about lots of other jobs. So in some respects, it does broaden my experience, but in other respects, no, I'm clueless. So it's a tricky one, that. It's a really good question, but I'm not quite sure of the answer. I think that might have to come back to that one. That's really stumped me. I only know what I know, and I do think that I wish that I was one of those writers that could really disappear from their own books and do a lot of research and sort of write something extraordinary that has nothing to do with their own lives. But I think I do feast on my own bones a bit. I think my own experiences do creep into my books a lot. Certainly all the houses that I set the books in are known to me. I don't make the houses up. They are real houses. I just put different people in. Question 6. Are you still in touch with any of the people you met in I'm a Celebrity? Who's your favourite? That's from Louise. I think it's a different Louise. Might be the same Louise. I'm still in touch with Dom Jolly, who taught me in the jungle in a tree house. They never showed any of this, but he taught me every single capital city in the world. I don't think that's what they were after. I liked quite a number of the people. Some of them were idiots. Some of them I can't remember. I mean, really, there were some pricks. But let's not name names. It's a long time ago, eh? But yeah, there were some fun people in there. But the only person that was really on my wavelength was Dom. He's a very bright man. He made me laugh. This is from Rob. Question 7. What's your favourite cheese? Well, Rob, it's an important literary question. I'm a Philadelphia light girl myself. I'm a big cheese girl. I don't like a blue veined cheese. I've got enough blue veins running up the backs of my legs. I don't need it on my plate. But apart from that, any old cheese. I like a hard cheese, like a soft cheese, like a spreadable cheese. Cheese is great. Question 8 from Fern. I really enjoyed listening in, and I wondered if when you wrote it, if the characters found you and you wrote as you went along, or whether you made a plan and structure in advance. Listening in is a collection of short stories, and some of them were on radio first. We got the collection together using some of the radio scripts, and then I wrote 7 original short stories for the book that had never been broadcast. And I was really badly paid for it, and the BBC wanted some money, and everybody wanted some money, so it was a bit ridiculous in the end. But if you like listening in on BBC Sounds, you can listen to Little Lifetimes, which are the 15-minute monologues that listening in sprung from. So they're, as I say, 15-minute monologues performed by really top actresses. And they're all on BBC Sounds. There are 7 series altogether, so some are in listening in, but there are a great many are on BBC Sounds. But there are those 7 special ones in the collection that have never been broadcast. Question 9. Would you ever revisit any of your book's characters and do a sequel prequel? Andrew, no. Can't remember who they are. I can actually. I've had people ask me about several of my characters and what happened to them next. But once I'm finished with them, I am more or less finished with them. I say that, but never say never. So, who knows? I'm a bit out of ideas at the moment. Maybe I'll go back. Just give me an idea, Andrew. Thank you very much indeed. Question 10. What tips would you give to someone who's writing their first book? That's from Fern. Oh God, Fern, that's a really tricky one because it's really hard. And sadly, I don't think book 2 is any easier than book 1. So you might as well just enjoy writing book 1 because, it doesn't really change. That's what it's like. Writing your first book, writing your 5th book, there's absolutely very little difference between them. They're a slog. They're a sort of. At the moment, I'm really struggling to come up with an idea for my 7th novel, and it makes me very sad. And it makes me very frustrated. And I kind of I hate myself at the end of the day, and I'm only truly happy when I am mid-book. And I don't know whether that's good advice or not, but I do know that there is a moment when you're writing a book when you kind of know how you've got to the middle and you know how you're going to get to the end, and it's a sort of glorious feeling of having direction and vaguely knowing for once in your life what you're doing. So I really hope everybody trying to write their first books gets to that stage at some point, because you'll know it. When you get to that point, it's kind of sailing downhill with the wind behind you, and it's really nice. Then come the edits, when your editor says, "Oh, you thought that was really good," and all that. But no, I don't mind the edits too much, actually. Sometimes it's a bit like untangling wool, but it's not the worst bit of the job. The worst bit of the job is starting. So that reminds me, I've got a book to write and I can't think of anything. But so if anybody has any bright ideas, do let me know. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Speak another time. Bye-bye.